Hi, till now we have discussed a lot about what's going on between Israel and Palestine in the Gaza war, and it is expanding. It looks like it is expanding right now. But today we will discuss what United States of America has lost in the Middle East due to Gaza war, and I'll say that the United States of America is big loser due to events in the Middle East. First of all, we should not forget that it is in America's interest to have peace in the Middle East. They have been fighting so many of wars there, and the last thing they need is another war, say like with Iran or any other war, is the last thing that Americans want. And the US has to compete right now to contain China, so they have to pivot to Asia, and they can't pivot to Asia when they are pinned down in Ukraine and also in the Middle East. And if you look prior to the events which are folding right now in the Middle East, Jack Sullivan, he said that the Middle East has not been this peaceful for a long time, and it makes sense for Americans of this point of view, because it is in America's national interest that peace should be there. Then US also want to have friendly relationship with as many states in the Middle East as possible, because Russians are already there in the Middle East and Chinese are also coming, and they are developing deep blue water navy to project their power in the Gulf region. And one should not forget that they were the people, the Chinese were the people who actually facilitated Saudi-Iran rapprochement. And if you go back to the days of the Cold War, it was actually USSR and Americans who were competing for hegemony in this region. And we should not forget, I am repeating the word, we should not forget, because many of the people have forgotten Yemen war in those days of Cold War, and actually the south of Yemen became communist at that time, and Americans were supportive of a kingship in North Yemen. If you look at Iran, a very popular, very liberal, democratic government was formed, democratically elected with popular vote of Mossadegh, and it was overthrown by the CIA, and a kingship was established in Iran by the same Americans who always preaches of freedom and democracy. But now there is another power, that is China, which is also having deep pockets, but it is very much energy starved. So China actually wants very good relationship with both Iran as well as Saudi Arabia, and also with other Gulf states. So the United States of America do not want bad relationship with the Gulf Arab states that drive them in the arms of Russians and Chinese. And do not forget that Mr. Vladimir Putin, when he visited United States, United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia, even during the Ukraine war, he was getting a red carpet treatment. It is not the treatment which everybody gets, not even the US presidents. You can get some kind of simile when President Trump visited Saudi Arabia first time after becoming the president of United States. That kind of treatment he got in the Gulf states, especially the United Arab Emirates. Then we saw Abraham Accords, and by Abraham Accords the United States was actually wanting Israel, Saudi Arabia and United States of America in some kind of cozy alliance, and this is all gone now because of what's happening there in Gaza. And it's not in American interest and even not in Israeli interest that Saudi Arabia is not going to forge relationship with the within the framework of Abraham Accords. Now when the Americans pulled out of JCPOA, we should also talk about that Iran nuclear point. the Iran nuclear thing, which is very much in mind of Americans and Westerns. Now, when the Americans pulled out of the JCPOA, or popularly known as the Iran nuclear deal, it is being said now that Iran has proliferated uranium up till 60%. To make a bomb they require 90%, and I believe it's just a matter of weeks. If they want to, they can proliferate it up till 90%, and within months they can make the weapon out of it. And I'm not talking about those all news in Fox TV, Fox News Network show said that one of the Iranian member of parliament, he claimed that Iran is already having a nuclear bomb. It may be possible, it may be a false news also, because remember, Saddam Hussein was having weapons of mass destruction, but it was not there, nothing was ever found. So I'm not getting into all those things, but 60% everybody knows they have crossed the they have reached the 60% threshold limit of uranium proliferation, and I think it's a matter of weeks. If they want, they can take it to 90% and can go for a nuclear weapon. But now see, look at the events. The attack on Damascus embassy of Iran by Israelis, and then tit for tat attacks. This actually gives Iranians an incentive to produce atomic weapons. If I think America had not withdrawn from JCPOA, which they did under the pressure of Israelis, because Israelis were wanting that the nuclear deal should also include the ballistic missile program, which is going very well for Irani point of view, and they are also having hypersonic missiles now, and this is all going on after so many sanctions, after the Americans pull out of JCPOA. So it was a very bad move to pull out of JCPOA. I am not a fan at all of Barack Obama. He has done many mistakes when it came to foreign policy, and Trump was much better than him. In terms of foreign policy, I have much more inclination towards Donald Trump than any of these Democrats. But JCPOA, crafted by Barack Obama, was a good plan to contain Iranian nuclear program, which they have lost. So in conclusion, I will say that this ongoing war in Gaza is not good for America, and as if it stops, it's better for America, because America need to pivot towards Asia to contain China. Thank you.